NullElement. Hello again, NullElement here with another S-Rank Hardcore Clear video for you today. This time around we are doing the mission The Reason Behind Your Birth. This mission is great because basically all the gang gets together to proceed through a couple of areas of increasing difficulty. The S-Rank conditions for this one are completing the mission without dying and also damage taken, so there's a combination of both those factors in this one. So as in my Foul Spawn Full Assault video, you do want to try to minimize damage taken. As you can see here, I took over 5,000 points of damage, and I only got an A, which was rage-inducing, compared to one of the previous videos I did where the limit was quite higher, over 6,000 if I remember correctly. The first enemy that you meet that is of any particular note is in the second area. This guy is fast. You want to burst him down quickly, because he can and does chase you. You can see where this is in the mission based on the minimap location and also that you have Razor and Fori with you. My recommendation is just to open fire on this guy and burst him down as quickly as possible. One other thing that I'd like to point out is that also environmental conditions come into play on this map, with lightning bursts being directed at your location. Continuing the same theme of speed for the enemies that you encounter in this area, you come up against these mutated elephants, I suppose, or mammoths. They are also quite fast. I recommend just bursting down the small ones and then going after the big guy. Now, depending on what class you play, this next fight can get you in a little bit of trouble. While on paper this fight doesn't look particularly dangerous, all the adds move quite fast. I recommend using mobility cooldowns to take out all the small guys and keep moving, because if you try to stay at range and just offload your assault rifle like I typically do, they will catch up to you and you'll start getting basically ganked from all directions. What I noticed from when I tried dealing with this encounter at range is that all the adds would basically stun lock me with the incoming damage. After you deal with the enemies from that fight, don't relax just yet. A large enemy spawns in on Wings of Fire, and this guy is essentially, he's kind of like a multitasker. He can do the melee hits and he can attack at range, so you have to keep your mobility up. What I found easiest was planking away at range and try my best to avoid any incoming attacks, though I wasn't always successful. As you can see, if he does manage to hit you, he does a fair bit of damage. Try to stay at range and let your teammates take aggro from his attacks. If he does get closer, you'll find that he'll use some ranged abilities, and he can also spawn fire around the room just like that. Some of these abilities will block your view of the target, but in general you can still get a beat on him and keep plinking away. This just goes to show how quick his target acquisition is. 1 minute he was focused on the teammate, and then he just turns around and fires a laser beam in your direction. After you put the birdie back in its cage, congratulations, you are onto the last fight of this mission. You are going to be up against none other than our lovely Matoi. It's not too difficult a fight, but it is quite lengthy, especially if you stay at range like me. But being a ranger, when in doubt, range it out. Matoi has two cores that sit above her wings. I like to target one first off and kite in that direction, and then after I've taken that core out, switch to the other core and kite in the other direction. It just makes things easier. It flows better. This is one of her first ranged abilities, and as you can see, she doesn't telegraph it for that long. But it is fairly easy to dodge. After you've busted the second core, she changes into a slightly different phase. You can see this because of the two wings that she has. After she switches phases, you'll notice that your damage on the wings go down a bit, so switch targets to the center of the body or the head. She casts this cool magic missiles type ability followed by an orb that explodes. Another ability she uses are these 3 blades. Depending on how close you are, they do move quite fast, so it's definitely something that you don't want to hang around and get hit by. She seems to do these attacks straight after she teleports, like this laser beam. In general though, none of her abilities are particularly dangerous or damaging as long as you stay at range. When you get up to these missions as well, you'll get dialogue boxes where you have to make a particular choice. I haven't chosen the wrong choice yet to see what happens, but why would you kill Matoi? Thank you for watching another video on my Hardcore S-Rank series. I hope this helps people meet the conditions for getting their clears, and catch you next time. The next video is going to be a real good one.